appreciate you looking after the office for the last couple of weeks. It's been really good of you, but I have a couple of questions for you. I had to try to clean sparkles and stuff out of the office because what's with Patrick? Of course, Patrick. Yes. So that explains the gloves with no fingers in them that was left behind too. Awesome. All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Cheers. Hey, glad to be back. And thank you to Patrick Alexander for filling in the last couple of weeks. Yeah, I had to do some tidying up of the office, the dressing room, but you know, you live and learn. But anyway, Patrick, just awesome that you were here. Welcome to episode 29, season 2 of Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. That would be me, powered by WeeStreem, fueled by Gales Gas Bars, supported by Performance Heating and Air, Enwick High-Speed Internet, and as well as Verge Insurance Group. Thanks to all of our sponsors for hanging in there with us during this really long, hot summer. Another hot summer day here in downtown St. Catharines. We're going to get you inside and settled at the desk here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. Again, thanks to Dave Mukarian and his staff for letting us hang out through the lunch hour here. And we'll get you in here and seated and ready to go. We have, by the way, a whole wide open show for you today. We don't have any scheduled interviews. That doesn't mean we couldn't have had some, but we thought, hey, first time back after a couple of weeks, we're going to give you an opportunity to participate in any conversation you want, and we'll bring each other up to date on what's going on in Niagara. So welcome to Niagara 411 Live once again. We'll be right back. Welcome. Here we are once again, and it just feels like yesterday we were doing this, and yet a couple of weeks has gone by and then some. Now, as you can appreciate from a live program, one never knows what is going to be happening in the background. And right now we have this great big sucking machine of some sort here on St. Paul Street in downtown St. Catharines. You can see this gentleman just over my left shoulder, and he's either pumping something into or out of a big green barrel. And you know, out of all the occupations I could have possibly picked, that would probably be the last one on the list of something I would want to do for a living. So God bless you, sir, and may the rest of your day go swimmingly well and be a little more aromatic than I'm sure it is at the moment. So we're going to deal with this lovely background serenade for a little while. How long, I know not, but glad to have you along for the ride. Now, speaking of sounds, want to start the program off today. There's a lot to talk about today. And again, as I mentioned coming into the door here, you can, by all means, participate. We've got a wide open show. We've got all kinds of time. You'll see at the bottom of your screen there, just says click the Zoom link in the post that you're watching right now. We'll scoot you into our Zoom room, green room, and we'll have a conversation about anything you want. And I want to mention that again, anything you like. You don't need an invitation to come onto this program. We designed it for you, for Niagara, and it doesn't matter whether you think, oh boy, is he going to think I'm advertising my business? I don't care. Come on in and talk about your business. Tell us what's going on as you reopen for COVID stage 3 that happened while I was away, and we're just starting to kind of get back into the swing of things. By all means, take whatever opportunity you have to talk about or promote or discuss anything that's on your mind or that's important to your life. I don't know how much more plainly, Kevin, I can put that, but just click on that link and we'll get her done. Now, there was something really cool that happened last night on international television, network TV, one of the biggest late night talk shows in North America, which of course is Late Night with Stephen Colbert. And Alicia Cara, thank you, sir, so much. Alicia, that was a blessing. That was a blessing. Yes, you may see the odd napkin come up as we go through, because it is a warm day. Alicia Cara is a singer, entertainer, been around a while, but still trying to make it big, I guess, or continue building her career. Originally from Niagara Falls.
No, she's from Brampton.
Originally from Brampton, but she's in Niagara Falls.
She was in Niagara Falls for the performance last night.
For the performance last night.
Yeah.
But she's, okay.
Sorry, she's from Brampton, well accomplished, maybe not your genre.
Last night she was from Niagara Falls.
You're right.
I love it when you say that, Kevin. That's like my wife. That's like the two guys having a conversation. I have a problem. One guy says, "What's the problem?" Well, I was having an argument with my wife last night. Yeah. Well, she said I was right. Now I don't know what to do. Okay, so Late Night, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert featured this young lady, Alicia Cara. She has built quite a name for herself, obviously, to make it this far. And this incredible video happened on one of the hornblower boats, right, Kev? It looked like it.
Yeah, that's my guess. It's one of the hornblower boats. Yeah.
So the background is of Niagara Falls, and let's just play this for you for some entertainment, sheer entertainment value off the top of the show here today.
Alicia Cara.
So right now it just kind of looks like any set.
Yeah.
Can't really tell that she's on a boat, but...
No, she's just starting the show. And the name of the song, again, I know we talked about this before.
I think it's Sweet Dreams.
Sweet Dreams?
Yeah, not the Eurythmics, but you know.
Yeah, the other one. Just to let you know, Kevin, for the sake of technical issues, I'm picking up very little of what's on the screen and a whole lot of background.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And the cool thing is here, now she starts to move around. She goes through this curtain, and now we start to figure out where she is. Boom! There's Niagara Falls in the background. Parts of Niagara, the city of Niagara Falls. I mean, you can, for those of us that are familiar with Niagara.
What a cool show there is.
Yeah.
I commend her and her crew for stitching this together, saying, what are we going to do? I mean, it's hard to do anything unique in a pandemic world, right?
Indeed.
She can't go to New York and be on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, so what am I going to do that is uniquely me and uniquely Canadian?
Now, the plus about this is the fact that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is, unlike this program, which is 411 Live with Lee Sterry, it is actually on tape. So they record all of their segments before they go to air that night. So they have an opportunity to edit them down and to make the program fit its timing. Because I'm not sure Stephen Colbert can tell time. But that's another issue. So what it gave Alicia Cara's band and crew time to do is put this really cool thing together in Niagara and have it boiled down so that it looks this slick, and it really does look good. And like Kevin said, whether it's your music genre of choice or not, look at that. Look at that shot.
How come nobody's done this before?
I don't know.
And now that I'm seeing this, because she's the first one that said, I'm going to go sing on a boat right by Niagara Falls.
There's Horseshoe Falls right behind her with the blue lights on. And then the American Falls over to the left. And of course, just a beautiful highlight of that boat. We do call the hornblower crafts boats, right? We don't call them ships, we call them boats. Yay! Alicia Cara. Horseshoe Falls directly in front of you.
Everybody, check out another song from Alicia and Colbert.
That's awesome. That's really good. So a little bit of local flora and fauna to kick off the show today. Now, one of the things that we've been talking about a lot here is the heat, and we've got smoke today. Make no mistake, the haze that is in the sky around where you are working, playing, living, you're just sitting and sweating in Niagara is not just because of the humidity. As a matter of fact, it's not because of the humidity at all. It is because of fires burning. And there is a special air quality statement issued for Niagara, so you really need to pay attention to stuff like this when it happens. It's one thing for it to be hot, it's another thing for there to be an air quality statement. So it says smoke is causing poor air quality and reducing visibility. Smoke is expected or occurring. High levels of air pollution due to smoke from ongoing forest fires are possible. Not only possible, now probable and actually happening. Smoke from active forest fires in northwestern Ontario has moved over southern Ontario. Elevated particulate matter levels, that's they get technical now. Particulate matter levels and hazy conditions have been reported at several stations. Well, you can see the haze if you were looking at the moon or the sun as it set last evening. You saw some pretty spectacular colors. And there were a lot of pictures posted all over social media, as well as on Niagara 411. By the way, hi to Nick and to Nick's mom. Haven't had a chance to say hi to you guys for the last couple of weeks, so it's really nice to be back in the saddle. Hi, everybody. And also to you contributors to Niagara 411, thank you for doing what you do to help us attempt to stay relevant and connect Niagara to Niagara. So that's great. So we have had, and you have seen, a lot of spectacular colors. And when I think about what's going on, I was away for a couple of weeks, as you know. Well, if you've watched this show before, you know. If you don't know, I was out in British Columbia for the last couple of weeks in the South Okanagan, which has today a new fire started, and hundreds and hundreds of homes have been evacuated in the area that I just came from. Now, there's a shot. Kevin just put it up there. There's a shot. Now, is that the sun or the moon?
It was posted on Niagara 411 last night.
Okay, so that's the moon. And it's obviously being affected by the reflection of the sun and the smoke.
The comment here, maybe that's why the sun is this color?
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I don't think that
looks more like the moon to me.
Yeah, I think it's.
I don't know. Shouldn't we give this commenter credit that they know the difference between the moon and the sun?
Well, I suppose all things are up for debate. All things are up for debate, and the colors are pretty cool. Now, and there's another one, right there. These are impactful pictures and pretty cool colors, but they're there for the wrong reasons. It's not good. This is not healthy, people, what we're going through right now. So especially if you have someone in your family or yourself perhaps has some sort of breathing issue, be really careful about your activities while this kind of stuff is going on.
And this stuff's incredible. This was last night. Was I just not paying enough attention?
Yeah, that was last night. I think it was, because I was coming back from Font Hill at about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock last night into St. Catharines. And that's this massive orange globe was in the sky. Now, at 8 o'clock at night, that's that high. It's not going to be the sun. It's going to be the moon.
Now, this is shot this morning. So, I mean, even this morning it had an effect.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Now, Lee, here you go, made the sun look pretty.
Yeah.
You were getting to the fact that you were just in British Columbia, and I got a photo that you sent me from out west where they're dealing, I guess, with similar weather patterns.
Similar and, if not worse, forest fires. Like I said, a fire that started yesterday has now evacuated. There it is right there. That is a scene from this morning, actually, that my son sent me, and he is in Penticton, British Columbia, which is about 40 kilometers north of where that heavy smoke is right now over the mountains. And what those clouds are, what that cloud and haze is right now that you see there, is what they're putting up with in that part of our country. And that is actually falling ash. And it looks like snow. If you've never experienced it, I have experienced it. I owned a home there, and it was awful when it happened. The ash comes down like snow. It's white. And then it lands on the surface, and if anything touches it, it just turns immediately to a greasy black soot. And that's what's happening with all of that stuff in the air, and that's the sun from this morning in the South Okanagan Valley in British Columbia, and they have evacuated probably 200 or 300 homes to this point, between the southernmost point of Canada, which is Osoyoos, or British Columbia, I should say, which is Osoyoos, right by the Washington border, and between Oliver, our two smaller towns, south of Kelowna and Penticton in British Columbia, where they have this brand new fire. So we had a lot of smoke out there. And I took a shot, or my wife took a shot of me overlooking Osoyoos, which was up a mountain. The mountain is called Anarchist Mountain, and we were at about 4,500 feet elevation. And what would normally, there's the picture there, what would normally have been an absolutely beautiful crystalline blue water and stark desert mountain outlooks with croppings of brilliant green, this is what the background looked like. And this is smoke not only from Washington State, but also from a fire where the winds blew. It's all about the wind, as you know, with fires, depending on where the smoke goes and where the flames go and where the danger is. And this is a combination of smoke that's been blown in from a couple of locations in the 24 hours before that picture was taken, from north of Kelowna, a place called Vernon, British Columbia, as well as Washington State. And that's well above Osoyoos Lake. That's about the southernmost part of the province in a desert atmosphere called Osoyoos. So that's where that picture was taken.
Good trip, Lee?
Huh?
Good trip?
It was a great trip. Kevin managed to see my brand new baby grandson. And of course, it would be a baby grandson if he's brand new, wouldn't he? But anyway, welcomed the latest member of the Sterry clan to the world, which was wonderful. Had a chance to celebrate the first birthday of Ella Sterry, my granddaughter, and see my 3-year-old son DJ. So it was all great fun. And well, there's Ella in my arms, DJ in the middle, and baby Ace. Yeah, I know, Ace in my wife's arms. And
what are you doing here, Lee?
Hey, that was my claim to fame on the golf links. That was my hole-in-one at Loco Landing Mini Putt.
Oh, okay. At the Mini Putt.
At the Mini Putt.
At the Mini Putt.
In Penticton. And I beat my 3-year-old grandson, so that was a real highlight.
Well, you got to teach him some life lessons. Nothing comes easy in this world.
You can't win them all.
There you go. There's your wife with baby Ace.
Yes.
Looking very healthy and cute and baby-like.
Yeah, he's yeah, okay.
That's a great picture, Lee.
It is a nice picture. It is a nice picture. Anyway.
It is really nice.
So that's what we're doing over the last couple of weeks. Thanks for that, Kevin. That was very nice of you. And speaking of that, you've been busy as well. Your kids are still out of school, so I know it's the middle of the summer. They'd be out of school anyway. But it seems like they've been out of school now for, 8 years?
Yeah. Gosh, please, come September. Is it September yet? I woke up the other day and I'm like, what is this, day 800 in a row with the kids at home?
Oh, man. I don't know.
Seemed like it. Maybe I can get away, Lee. We are going camping, going out to Bissell's, and that's what actually brought about the show today on a Tuesday, because we got some good family time out at Bissell's, so
nice.
Very much looking forward to that. But just to give you an obvious segue, you can't get far enough away, and some people say, I'm going to space.
Oh, yes.
Bezos. I know you wanted to get to this.
Good old Mr. Jeff Bezos. Arguably the richest man in the world, has spent quite a bit of money developing this Blue Origin business. he wants to actually create, or has created, a space tourism business. And he blasted off in his own rocket today with his brother and a couple of special guests, one of them an 81 or 82-year-old woman that had always wanted to go to space. Well, she did. So Blue Origin launch. Let's just go there right now.
2, 1.
So this is this morning. This already happened today.
Yeah, about 9 a.m. today. The NSS first step. So the launch is underway. Unlike Branson, who went up in a plane near the edge of space, this is an actual rocket, as you can tell. Now, the whole episode took, as I understand it, about 10 minutes from ignition to, I was going to say splashdown, but it didn't splash down, it plopped down in the desert in Texas. But it launched out of mid-Texas this morning. And then there is a separation between that little capsule on top, where the so-called astronauts are, and then the fuselage of the rocket comes back down to Earth, and then, aided by parachutes, which I think we're going to see in a bit here. There's the booster coming back down on your right-hand side, and well, on the left as well. It sort of jumps back and forth.
So this is crazy. So this rocket,
the rocket actually came back down
and lands vertically.
Yeah, sort of like the Elon Musk SpaceX design.
Incredible.
It comes back down instead of just blowing up in the atmosphere. It sets back down.
That's incredible.
So they can reuse it.
That in itself is a massive achievement, is it not?
Yeah.
I mean, military's been trying to figure out vertical takeoff, vertical landing forever.
And that's what Elon Musk has been doing.
Look at that.
Yeah. Right from the very spot that it took off. Now here we go. Here's the capsule that I was talking about. You'll see parachutes deploy. And so you got 4 people that are inside that little capsule right now. And watch when it hits the ground, even though it's been slowed down by the parachutes. When it hits the ground, it comes down with quite an impact. And I was wondering what that felt like for the people inside. I'm assuming that they were in some sort of cushion-protected pod in their seats. But there are the parachutes initially being deployed, and they'll fill out a little bit more as the air hits them, and it slowly slows that thing down.
I think they probably ordered the cushiony seats and all that stuff off Amazon. You know, they rushed it overnight.
Well, yeah, and they'd get an employee discount.
I would think so. Yeah.
Sure. So now as the parachutes get larger, imagine though if they didn't work, would they be able to send them back? No questions asked. Now that this thing is coming down, watch how hard it appears to hit the desert floor in Midwest Texas.
And I'm assuming that number counting down, that's their elevation in feet.
Yes.
Wow, so they're 1,500 feet right now, but coming quick.
And falling fast. And they're going 16 miles per hour?
I think so, yeah. So that's a kind of a slow descent, although I guess...
It seems faster to me.
If you're falling 16 miles an hour, that's probably pretty quick.
Yeah. And you're hitting a solid object.
True.
You're not landing in the water, which would feel like a solid object anyway, but watch when it hits. It still seems like it hits pretty hard.
And they were able to just parachute again. Is there any control with this descent, or is it just wherever the parachutes take them?
Kevin, I have no idea.
It seems, though, that it was pretty close to
the launch pad.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They have to be susceptible to the wind, etc. But there isn't a lot of wind in the daytime.
Remember, I mean, back in the day, you go back 50, 60 years ago. And I mean, they were just splashing down in the ocean somewhere.
Yeah, because they didn't want to hurt anybody if it went off course.
Right, here we go.
Here we go.
feet.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. And comes. Here it comes.
And
Boom.
touchdown. Welcome
Now, didn't that seem like a little bit of an impact to you?
Absolutely.
That did to me.
Wow.
Anyway, it was successful, and I know we talk about the fact that we are a Niagara-based for Niagara, all Niagara type show, and it's true, we are, but we also want to talk about things Niagarans are talking about, and the fact that this happened on the same day that Apollo 11 landed on the moon 52 years ago. That point is not lost on us, and you can bet that Bezos, being who he is, that didn't happen by accident. Said, "Oh, did you know you were blasting off on the same day that Apollo 11 landed on the moon?" "Oh, really? I hadn't thought of that." Well, I don't think that's the case. I'm sure it was a very well thought out time frame for the Blue Origin first human occupied flight to space.
Very cool. Did you hear in there she said that on board was the first ever African-American female in space? That took me aback. Really? They had mentioned that.
Well, I'm hesitating because I'm trying to think. Have we not had
Seems
an
bizarre.
African American or
African-American woman?
a person of color, a female of?
I guess not.
Well, if she said it, it must be true. Isn't that something? Now, there is another kind of vehicle, a little less high-tech than that is here in Niagara today. And he's a very cute vehicle. And you can actually go get pictures taken of yourself and your family with Theodore Tugboat. I believe he was he's based in Hamilton, first of all. And then he was in Port Weller, I believe, yesterday or the day before. And if memory serves, he is in Port Dalhousie today. 65-foot replica of a beloved children's TV character, Theodore Tugboat, has sailed into St. Catharines. Theodore 2, T-O-O, is docking in Port Dalhousie on the West Pier at the Yacht Club. The community is welcome to pop by to see it and take some photos. The City of St. Catharines staff will be welcoming visitors to the dock located adjacent to the Lakeside Park parking lot. Okay, so think about this now. You know where the Lakeside Park parking lot is. They're welcoming you to the dock right beside there today for up-close visits and photos. Now, we missed the 9 to 11 window to warn you about, but there are two other windows today that you can go see Theodore 2 between 1 and 3 this afternoon, or between 4 and 6 p.m. It's going to be leaving Port Dalhousie to head back to its home port of Hamilton at 8 o'clock tonight. So, it's like I said, it's a little lower tech than the Blue Origin, but it's pretty cool that you have an opportunity to go there, and especially now that we're into stage 3 and you can hang around other people to some extent and actually do things. That's one of the things that you might want to take the kiddies out and have a picture of them with their favorite tugboat. So, Theodore 2 in town until about 8 o'clock tonight.
It's funny. I think the adults might be a little more interested. I've got a 6 and a 7-year-old, and Theodore Tugboat not even on their radar.
Yeah,
Been replaced by the Paw Patrols of the world.
I guess so. Yeah.
So I was thinking, I'm like, oh, well, it'd be nice to go. I think for them it would just be another tugboat.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna rewind a little bit. I had the opportunity, and I don't know whether this should be called an opportunity or a torture, to watch an awful lot of children's programming on television over the last couple of weeks because my grandson is going to turn almost 3. And boy, there is some strange, also some very entertaining and creative, but there are some strange buckaroos on some of the children's programming today. What were your kids' favorite shows?
These days, they're liking Bluey. I don't know if you watched any Bluey. It seems to be something new. They've outgrown Paw Patrol to a degree, although
I saw some Paw Patrol, yeah.
Still kind of a fan favorite.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, you know what?
Have you ever
I should pay
seen...
more attention.
This is to all parents of young children out there. Have you ever seen this thing called Boss Baby?
Oh, yeah, they love Boss Baby.
Wow, how weird is that? This is the business world, and it's all babies in suits and ties and stuff, like on Wall Street. It's very, very strange. It's kind of, it's a little bit funny, but I don't know. It's really
it does.
weird.
It leads the kids to ask weird questions. Like they've asked me, Daddy, are you the CEO of your company? Because they know that in Boss Baby, there's a CEO, and that's the top of the rung.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not a CEO. I'm a see you later. I'm one of those employees. And another thing about cartoons, one of the big, now that theaters are opening back up again, there's some children's programming right there. What show is that you put on?
That's
there?
Theodore Tugboat.
Oh, that's Theodore Tugboat.
There you go. There he is.
Theodore
right there.
2, right.
So there you go. You can go
they
see
have a
him.
lot of them.
Go see him today in Port Dalhousie.
Yeah. All right. There was another one. What was it? Where was I going? I don't know.
Boss Baby, Paw Patrol.
Yeah,
all the kids shows.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, they're watching them all.
It doesn't matter. Now, something that is definitely close to home again is Marineland is back in the news today, Kevin. And being a long-time Niagara, I mean, I lived in other places for many years, but still at heart and by birth and by nature and nurture, I'm a Niagaran, born in Niagara Falls, was in the media in Niagara for a long time, ages ago. Knew John Holer, whose dream and vision Marineland was, and he made his dream come true. His vision was very, very clear, and he was very successful at it. Well, John Holer passed away not all that long ago, and I frankly expected his dream to die with him, sort of, or shortly after, but apparently it has not. And I mean, that's up to the people that own it and run it, etc. But as you know, and we've had the whistleblower on himself and the author of the book about the story of Marineland and the walrus and all of the animals, basically. The whales in particular have received a lot of attention over the years. You know the controversy that has been around Marineland. Well, there is yet another one. Province orders Marineland to fix the water system after Watchdog finds that the animals are in difficulty and distress because of the water that they're dealing with at Marineland. So, and of course, again, Marineland has come out and said that we defend how we operate our business and how we look after the animals and our water systems, etc. And at some point in time, I just have to wonder, Kevin, when do operators of animal entertainment-based businesses realize that age is past? I mean, SeaWorld in Florida closed a number of years ago, and they used COVID as an excuse for why they're not reopening, but that's just an excuse. Animals for entertainment, be those animals well treated or not, you are in a position of being unpopular if you run a business that uses animals for entertainment or service to human beings at all. The other thing that happened over the past week, and we'd love to hear your views on this, by the way. I'm not passing my own opinion on to anybody about whether Marineland should operate or not. That's not my call. It's your call whether you obviously patronize these places or not. It's no skin off my nose, personally, whether Marineland operates. Do I believe that they mistreat their animals? I don't know what I believe. I don't know why people would mistreat animals, but
I'm kind of in the same boat with me.
What happens? I don't know, so I can't say.
If zoos are allowed to operate legally in Ontario or in Canada or whoever has jurisdiction, then I'll go and I'll enjoy going. If they're not allowed, then I won't go, and I don't know how much I'll miss it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. And if the majority of people in this democracy rally the government and decide to ban all zoos, all right, sure, I'm for that.
Okay. I would understand why.
Yeah.
And the same thing, in a different twist, of course, is happening in Niagara-on-the-Lake with the horse-drawn carriages that have been there for many, many, many years, as they have been in New York City and other major urban centers around the world. And there is a petition being circulated against these sides are continuing to bang into one another. There is a petition being circulated right now to save our horse-drawn carriages, as well as the protests are being ramped up yet again, as it happens every summer, because this is when they are the most active in Niagara-on-the-Lake, to take the horses off the street, that they should not be used for human pleasure of any kind. The owner of the horses says the horses are well taken care of. They're treated like gold, and if they weren't doing what they were doing right now, they would be unemployed, they wouldn't be of service, and unfortunately the animals probably would be euthanized at some point. And they like what they do. So there are definitely differing views and differing opinions on how these animals are used. And what are you supposed to... Animals have been in service of human beings since the beginning of time. They plowed fields. They worked tirelessly, hours on hours and hours. They were used for transportation. They were used for the delivery of the mail. I mean, this isn't something that is new. It doesn't mean necessarily they were mistreated. It just means that they had a purpose on the planet.
Yep, but contrary to that, right, you could say that about a lot of things, is this is the way we've always done it. Well, now it's time to change.
Yeah, and you're right about that. And I always hated it when people said that. Well, why are we doing it this way? Well, we've always done it this way. Okay, but is that a good reason? And maybe not.
So I think a lot of us fall right where you and I are, Lee, whereas I'm not the one out there holding the placard and protesting, but I understand the people that protest and say, yeah, okay, I understand that.
I get the position.
So, all right, if you guys win, I'll support that.
Yeah.
If you lose, I'll also support that. I'm kind of in the middle.
But a healthy, peaceful, intelligent debate is what should be behind all of these decisions.
I would agree.
You know, because a lot of times these things get crazy.
Lee, I know we've been encouraging everybody to call in, and all you got to do is click on the Zoom link. We got Robert in the green room, and I want to get to him in just a second, but I don't know that he necessarily wanted to react to animals in captivity, zoo, marine land, etc. But if you want to, by all means, click that link, and we'll get to you just like Robert did. It's that easy to join. I mean,
the marine land thing has been on everybody's front burner, back and forth from back to front burner for many, many years now, and I just wonder why, after the dreamer and the visionary of marine land has left us, why still the big fight?
Yeah,
I don't quite understand it. So Robert, how are you, Mr. DeWolf?
I'm very good.
That's you, correct?
Nice seeing you again.
Good to see you too. And haven't chatted with you in ages. Robert, what's on your mind today?
No. Well, a couple things, and actually I'll follow up with you when you're talking about marine land. I was there, I think it's been 4 years now. Yeah. And I was very, very, very upset with the way the bears were in the water and blah, blah, blah. And it didn't look very comfortable. These are real bears. Yeah. And anyway, I was very upset. And then that was just prior to all the demonstrations that went on shortly after that. Okay. Right, where people were out with their stuff. Right. And Yeah. So anyway, my main call is I just had a book published,
Did you?
and there's the cover of it is in the background of me there, and I'll show you the book itself.
Can we see it?
Yeah.
Okay, I tell you what. Okay, what's it? Where do we go? There we go. We've got it there.
Yeah.
Where do we
go?
Okay.
And yeah, it's a nonfiction children's book.
Yeah.
That I wrote. I've been working on it actually for almost 10 years. I used to live in Pelham, and I moved here like 10, 12 years ago.
Okay.
And I had started it, that long ago when I lived in Pelham, about black bears, and the fact that they were being relocated, not by their choice,
right,
but because of overdevelopment and not proper development.
Okay.
And so anyway, I was encouraged about a year ago, being with Rotary, we have a readers program that we do at the Centennial School, downtown St. Catharines.
Right.
And we read to the children there once a week. And see some of the books that we were reading, I wasn't very happy with them. And you're trying to read to, 5 and 6 year olds.
Sure.
So anyway, at that time, I got encouraged through Miriam Laundrie, who has written 4 wonderful children's books.
Yeah.
And I hooked up with her as a mentor, and I was telling her about this book I started, and she encouraged me to, well, Bob, you got to get at, you got to start it. So anyway, between her and I joined up with her and contracted with her to write and publish this book.
That's awesome. Now,
so
what is the? I guess the theme of the book must be to sort of get through to children about how we treat animals.
Absolutely, and how we treat the environment.
Right.
So it's sort of a twofold story of black bears, and I've written in such a way as not to make the bears look like they're super dangerous, but
right.
We all know a bear is a bear. I mean,
you have to respect them.
Unconditionally, yeah, absolutely. And then talking about the environment where, bears lived in this certain area, especially where I was,
mm-hmm.
and also here in the Niagara region, actually. There used to be a lot of bears in this area until they started building the Welland Canal.
Yeah, that's always the case, isn't it?
Yeah, and so coincidentally, they had to move somewhere.
Right.
And so they moved to a place like Erie and that, to different regions. And eventually they're coming back this way.
Robert, how do we find your book? How do we get it?
Okay, Where Do We Go can be found on Amazon.ca.
Okay.
Or .com. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's
what are the best? Sorry to interrupt you. What are the best ages?
No problem.
What are the best ages of children that would be affected by it?
Yeah, from 5 on up, Lee.
Okay.
Since I've sold a number of copies.
Yeah.
And I'm getting good feedback from parents and grandparents.
Terrific.
Like yourself. And who have been reading to their, grandkids and children.
That's wonderful.
And and the response I'm getting is just, I'm so happy. I honestly, it just, there's so much gloom and doom going on right now in the world.
I agree with you. Yeah. Robert DeWolf, that's
yes.
awesome. Next, you're going to have to do something on wolves.
No, actually, coyotes.
Just because of your name. Oh, coyotes? Okay, well, that
Absolutely.
qualifies. That qualifies.
No, you're right. No, thank you. Yeah, you're right. Actually, I've already been encouraged locally to use my Black Bear story template and put coyotes in it.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to that. Amazon.com. Where do we go? A new children's book by Niagara and Robert DeWolf. Robert, thanks for clicking in on with us today. It's super.
Oh, you're quite welcome, Lee. Nice talking to you again. And I enjoyed your pictures from Vancouver as well, and your visit. That was awesome.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Okay. Thanks, Kevin. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That's cool. The world of children's entertainment I have been away from for a long time, and being reintroduced to it, being in contact with my grandchildren over the last couple of weeks. Wow, what a changing world, except one of the things, then we can get off this. The movie theaters are now open, and the box office killer right now, Kevin, is the cartoons from my era, Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny,
Space Jam.
Space Jam.
Yeah, we watched it with the kids over the weekend.
Did you?
Yeah.
And?
It was awesome. It was, you know what? I was reading some critical reviews, and God, you know what? The critics just shouldn't be allowed to write about children's movies.
No, that's just
like,
wrong.
Are you kidding me? I didn't watch Space Jam to change my life. It's a popcorn movie.
Pure entertainment.
Absolutely, and it was totally entertaining. It was a good re-up. They incorporated some like 20, new millennia type stuff.
Yeah.
Yet,
but the old Looney Tunes cartoons.
Yeah, the same plot, and they intertwined it quite well. LeBron was good. There was some good messaging there.
Yeah.
For families and family values and what have you. It was great. Now, it's funny that speaking about books, here's something that will tie everything together. This week, my daughter came out of her room with this book, and unfortunately, I was unable to find any artwork out there for it. But you might recognize the name. The Day the Welland Canal Monster Met Santa.
Frank Proctor.
Frank Proctor.
Wow.
Former host at CKTV, former morning man.
Actor, playwright.
And he wrote this book. And apparently we have it in our archives. I don't remember seeing it ever before. And I was enamored with it. And on the back cover, there was a message from the general manager of CKTV at the time and from Frank himself, talking about how this started as a story that he wrote for the radio and would read it around Christmas time every year, and then finally, got it published, and there it was. So we have a copy of Frank Proctor's "The Day the Welland Canal Monster Met Santa."
That's
and
great.
How
A story
is that?
A story about a mythical monster and his little friend, a clam, who spend their days in Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. Gosh, I haven't heard Frank's name in a while. Hello, Frank. That is very cool. And let's stay on the book theme for a little while. On the Wednesday before I left, on the Wednesday before the weekend that I left, Jessica Gale Friesen, who is the CEO of Gale's Gas, our title sponsor of this program, became a published and distributed author with her book release entitled This Won't Break Me. It was about her battle, or is about her battle with postpartum depression shortly after the birth of her first child, Eddie, who is now about 14 years old, I believe. We're going to be having Jessica here on the show, not just because her company sponsors this program, but because it's also a big discussion that needs to be had, and she has shone a light, bravely so, on an experience that so many women go through after childbirth and often don't talk about it. And therein lies the problem, because you're supposed to be happy about being a mom. You're supposed to be that quintessential mother, happy and well-adjusted and so supportive of everything to do with childbirth and being a wife and mom and all that stuff, and like that sort of leave it to Beaver type, father knows best kind of old 50s style TV show. Well, those days never did exist. They existed on TV, they existed in people's imagination, but they never really existed in reality. And it's unbelievable that just now, so many years later, we're starting to feel able to talk about this stuff. And that's what Jessica's book does, and we'll have her on the program sometime in the next week or so to talk about how the book is doing. Congratulations, by the way. And while we're talking about sponsors, we're trying to, I guess, for these smooth segues, Kevin, this is almost a professional endeavor that we got going here. We are fueled by Gales Gas Bars, and we thank them for that, for hanging in there with Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry. We are powered by WeeStream, of course, and we'll talk more about that with Kevin in just a minute. Also, Performance Heating and Air, Carlo and his gang, we certainly appreciate the fact that you also joined us a little while ago, and boy, oh boy, if somebody needs air conditioning in this weather, they can help you out. They're also trying to save money for Niagara families. Being a local business themselves, they have local families, and they try to look after their own families, and we'll try to do the same for yours, all right? So we appreciate their support. Enwick, Niagara's local high-speed internet provider. We had a chance to talk with the CEO, Scott, a few weeks ago, and it's really an interesting company. It breaks the mold from the traditional style services that you might have experienced when it came to internet provision here in Niagara. They service urban customers as well. The original vision was to do really good, high-speed, high-quality rural internet service, which is something that's difficult to come by in the world of internet service these days. 100% unlimited service, no contracts, etc. So it's really kind of a different business model for an internet provider. So Enwick, thank you for being here with us, as well as Mark Shirk and your entire crew at Verge Insurance, another Niagara-born, bred, and supported industry and business here in Niagara. So Verge Insurance, we appreciate you being here as well. So to all of our sponsors, thank you. Does anyone care about the Olympics? I know that just came out of the hazy blue, but do we have I know we have a horse in the race. I mean, we got a couple of very accomplished athletes as flag bearers. We have a lady, female soccer player, correct? That's going to be carrying the flag, as well as the gentleman. I just lost his sport, Kevin. What is?
I don't know. I saw they announced the flag bearers the other day.
I just lost his sport. I'm sorry, my friend.
A kayaker? A gymnast? Is he an archer? A swimmer?
He's an athlete.
I'm trying to think of the things we're good at. Is he a speed walker?
No, he's not a speed walker.
Is he a decathlete?
No. Now we're trivializing this man's career, and I'm sorry about that. I feel bad.
It goes to show you're right about how little interest people are actually paying to the Olympics. I'm an athlete. I love sports, and I love the Olympics.
Right.
And it's barely on my radar.
Well, you're not going to have any fans. They're not going to have their usual. I guess they'll have their trainer and their coach for the teams. That would be the bare minimum that the athletes would have with them in Tokyo. But other than that, we're looking at nobody in the stands. Even the people that live there aren't able to watch. They've got to watch the Olympics the way we're watching them on TV. And I just don't, we're not. Now, if I suppose, being Canada, I think it might be a little bit different if they were the Winter Olympics because of the skiers and the skaters and the whole deal. But do you care about the Olympics? Please get in touch with us if you do. If you're fired up about the 20... Now, they're still calling these the 2020 Olympics, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. We just finished the 2020 Euro Cup.
These are the 2020 Olympics, which is it's going to screw us up for all time. Now, 2020 happened in 2021, so we got to 2024, and it's like, COVID has left a lasting scar on the skin of history. I'm telling you, it has. It really, really has.
Here, Lee, let's at least answer some questions and get something right on the show today.
Let's get something right. Rugby, of course.
There you go.
Thank you. I knew the sport, and it's a great sport. Have you ever played that, Kevin?
Rugby, absolutely.
Yeah. Couldn't do it now.
It's a great sport. No way. Now,
You could. I couldn't.
I might be able to get away with it until I got hit the first time. Then I'd be done.
Yeah. Basketball player Miranda Elm. Thank you. I said soccer. I apologize,
And
Miranda.
then Nathan Hirayama.
It's and Nathan Hirayama,
No, it's-
a rugby.
I don't know if this is interesting or not, and I might have my facts crossed. But for example, you say rugby, but in the Olympics they play rugby sevens. They don't play the 15s.
Right.
Which is odd because the 15s, that's the quintessential. That's the World Cup of rugby, and yet in Olympic, it's the scaled down version. Now, women, I think, are playing 5-on-5 basketball. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are the men playing 3-on-3 basketball at the Olympics?
Kevin, I don't know. I swear to God, I don't know.
I think they are, and it's so bizarre. I
admit
remember
it.
when they announced it, like, you're going to play 3-on-3 basketball. Like, why are you playing a
Why would you
schoolyard
do
game?
that? Why would you
that's-
do that?
I have no idea. Like, the Olympics makes some, but skateboarding
That's
in
like
the
playing
Olympics.
road hockey in the Winter Olympics.
It is. It's kind of the same.
Yes.
It's bizarre. I think they're playing 3-on-3 basketball in the Olympics.
Well, you already know more about it than I do, and I admit it freely.
And only because
I have no interest. Now, to be perfectly honest, I kind of go into every Olympic Games with this sort of lackadaisical, not caring attitude, and I get sucked into the hype of it by the broadcasts. And you're flipping through the channels and you catch a competition, and without even intending it, you end up sitting there for an hour or so watching these people compete because they're such darn good athletes. So you get kind of hooked on it, but I don't even know if the television coverage, Kevin, is going to be the same with the situation this year.
I don't know. I'm assuming most of it's going to be available online.
Yeah.
And I always know that CBC traditionally, or whoever's carried it, and I think last time we had a consortium, or maybe I'm going back to 2010, where TSN, Sportsnet, CBC, everybody was involved, and we always do such a better job than the Americans. I'm so proud of that. That at broadcasting the Olympic Games, Canada is so good, and the product
at giving equal time.
Yeah, and the product that NBC puts forward is just awful.
It's terrible.
Just awful. Maybe they've caught up with the times, but remember they used to always package things and then play it in prime time, but then the internet came along, and NBC continued to do that. You're like, you can't. I know who won the race at 9 a.m. this morning. I know it. I've seen the highlights. It's all over everything.
Yeah. I saw the rocket go off already.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm trying to confirm whether or not the men's basketball is 3-on-3 or if it's 5-on-5. I can't do it. If anybody knows,
the CBC has always been the long-time go-to network because they had the money to do it. They were funded by tax dollars, et cetera, and they were solvent enough to do that. And but I don't even know that the coverage is going to be anywhere near as significant as it was.
And getting down to the Olympics itself, and you know me, Lee, through this whole COVID thing, I have not been the fear-mongerer.
No?
I'm looking at this and thinking, this is wholly irresponsible at this point in time to be bringing people from all corners of the world together and jamming them into a confined space. You know what I mean? I'm not the fearmonger, but really, you think I read the other day 15% of Japan has been vaccinated. That's it.
And there have been many international, non-Canadians, I might add, that have been diagnosed, that have tested positive for COVID-19. So what do they do? Can they even? They're there, they're tested, they test positive. Now what? Do they compete? I mean, the Olympics run what? A couple of weeks, 12 to 14 days.
Yeah, something like that.
Opening ceremonies are this Saturday. And those two wonderful people will be bearing Canada's flags. We apologize for just totally screwing up their names in sport, so I apologize for that. You deserve more respect than that. But then what if you've tested positive? Do you walk in the parade? Can you go with your... What do you do?
Well, they ship you home in a box.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems irresponsible, but at the same time, Lee, I know a week from now we'll be sitting there going, you know what? I don't know much about archery or bouldering.
But we got a Canadian in the fight.
Yeah, but go Canada.
Yeah, we'll be doing that. We will. That's as I say, in spite of the fact right now I'm thinking, well, in a week I'll be cheering right along with everybody else. So go Canada.
But there are, you know what, Lee? It actually begins tonight. The Olympic Games begin tonight. I believe there's a soccer game and a basketball game.
Yeah, they always
tonight.
do that, but the opening ceremonies are Saturday.
Exactly. So that's when everybody thinks they start. But if you really want to scratch that itch of Olympics, the Olympic Games officially begin today in Tokyo.
There was something else that is happening today. We won't make a big deal out of it because we invited them to come on the program. And thank you, Big Truck. We invited them to come on the program, and as nice as they were unable to apparently do so. But the public relations people for the casinos are having the official announcement today that the casinos of Niagara are reopening, which is a pretty big deal when it comes to financial kickbacks, etc. that come, and I don't mean that in a bad way, that come back to Niagara from the operation of casinos. But President of Niagara Casinos, Richard Taylor, gave Mayor Diodati of Niagara Falls a tour of the Falls View Casino. Now, thank you for posting that, Jim, by the way, Mr. Mayor. But why do you need a tour of the... It's been there a while, hasn't it? Don't you kind of know your way around
here, Lee,
by
let me
now?
extend this. They've made some extensive renovations, added more square footage of gaming during the pandemic, so they weren't sitting on their hands. And of course, as you can see, there's some plexiglass in place.
Okay.
So, just to kind of let them know that they're prepared, they've been preparing, and it's going to be safe. I understand they open on Friday. My mother-in-law got a special invitation to go and play on Thursday.
Your mother-in-law?
My mother-in-law.
She must be a whale.
You mean at the slots?
Yes.
Right.
No,
right.
I wasn't alluding to her size or shape. I was using gambling lingo.
Right. So anyway, she got invited. And you know what? You mentioned that the staff there at Falls View Casino were very good in trying to get somebody on the show today, but they just weren't able to work it out. I will say, I've seen rumors online, Lee, that is part of the transformation and renovations.
I was going to bring this up.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
The thing, yeah, but you remember the name and I don't.
It's the Teslatron.
It's the big fountain, that big, lovely display or thing, that fountain area that is in the lobby of the casino. That when you walk through the doors, there's this big, beautiful fountain-esque, and you called it a translatron?
Teslatron, after
Teslatron.
Nicholas Tesla.
After Nicholas. So
get that thing right there.
So it has to be powered by some sort of DC current or something.
Yeah, probably.
No, I mean really.
Yeah, no way it could be powered by AC.
Well, no, it wouldn't work.
That'd be the.
It's got to be Tesla. It's got to be a DC current operated thing. You can't plug it in.
It doesn't travel over distance. That's the problem. See, this is what we're getting at. But there were rumors out there, and I heard people talking about it, and I saw posts online that the Teslatron was gone, and that's not true.
No.
Not true. It's still there. They would never get rid of that thing.
Why would they? What is the point of doing that? Because it's the centerpiece of the lobby of the casinos. I don't understand why anyone. Where do rumors like that get started?
Online, Lee.
Yeah. Speaking of that, have you anybody that has a Hotmail or a live .com or .ca or an Outlook email address? Kevin, do you have any of those?
I have a Hotmail, but I don't use it so much anymore.
Okay. And I'm asking this question because I don't know the answer, but I've been ignoring this message like it's spam.
Okay.
Because I have been receiving in my I have a live account.
Okay.
And you can use it, by the way, for any voicing requirements you have. LWS at live.ca. It's not a secret. It's a very public. It's my business email.
LWS.
LWS at live.ca.
Perfect.
Thank you. So, but I've been receiving, and my wife has an Outlook account. It's just her private, personal account.
You're not going to give that one out?
No.
Okay.
No, that would be wrong. So, but we've been receiving these notes from Microsoft suggesting the fact that by such and such a date, and then the date keeps moving, your email is going to be discontinued unless you confirmed whatever. And everything looks very, very official, but I'm saying to myself, why would they change these Hotmail and Outlook and Live and all of these email accounts unless I got back in touch with them? That involves billions of people, millions of people at least, that have these kinds of accounts. So I have to think, because my email service has not been interrupted, I have to think that this is bogus.
Sounds spammy to me.
It's bogus.
Sounds spammy. I'll tell you, Lee, I moved over to a Gmail account, and the reason I did it wasn't because my Hotmail account wasn't working anymore. I was embarrassed giving it out. As soon as you tell somebody that your email address is so-and-so at hotmail.com, they know you're 1,000 years old.
Thank you very much.
So I realized that, like, as I was saying it over the phone, oh, can you email? Yes, it's...
Yeah, but what does that matter? Why is that important to you?
Well, because I run a high-tech business.
Okay.
I run a high-tech business over here, so I can't be...
so what do you want, like,
at
at smartkevinjack.com? Like,
well, yeah, if that URL's available.
I'm hip.
Maybe I should get one of those.
Yeah.
At smartypantskj.com.
KJ at imhip.ca.
All right, I like it. I like it already. But, and speaking of Lee,
yes.
I do, run along with Brandon Scram, a real high-tech business, WeeStream.
I wanted to bring it back to this a bit ago because I said we'd be talking more about you. And you put on, I noticed this, you put on one of your splashy, dashy weddings this past week.
We did, and we've been getting a lot of requests since COVID to live stream weddings because, of course, capacities are limited. But it's really a good idea for all weddings because WeeStream blends live streaming and videography. It's an amazing keepsake, and everybody, no matter how big your wedding is, there are people overseas that can't make it. There are people that you have to cut from the list, and this is a great way to include them. And on Friday, we had a great wedding for Emily and Matt, and they were over at Stonewall Estates.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to throw that up there. Stonewall Estates is really a gorgeous venue. It's tucked away on 11th Street, and you have to access it through grass.
Okay.
And it's dead ends everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So it's a dead end, and then you take a right, and it goes to another dead end, and then you take a farm road, and then you get to Stonewall Estates. Absolutely beautiful.
Sounds like a nice trip.
Beautiful wedding venue out there, and the staff were 100% top notch. But I'll give you an idea of what we do, Lee, because it's not your normal live stream here. I mean, here's WeeStream right here.
Well, it's not just plunk a camera on a pedestal and turn it on. There's a lot going on here.
So here we go. Here's the beautiful. I think that's 16 Mile Creek, the overlook.
Yep.
And this is prior to the ceremony. They had probably the best, and I'll get to it, Lee, the best bride entrance that I've ever seen of any venue or any wedding, ever. It was just so you look at that. I mean, how pristine is that? Beautiful building, nice.
I love those the metal roofs that they're putting up now on these buildings. It looks so clean and neat.
So congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Bellario.
Yeah.
And just incredible working with DJ Russell and his team out there. DJ Russell, I think, from Niagara Falls.
Okay.
Those guys are absolute pros. Enjoyed working with them. Family-run business over at Stonewall Estates. And
now, one of the things that impresses me about your service, the WeeStream thing, is what you're doing right now is what someone would be doing if they just showed up at this event, walking around, looking at things, getting a feel for what the property looks like, what the venue is going to be, where you might want to sit, what's happening. It's like you're looking over the shoulder of somebody that's attending the wedding, right?
No, you're exactly right. Lee.
Great.
That's the feel that we're going for.
Yeah.
Just to the left, you see we have a microphone on this roaming camera, and people say hi to
Yeah.
everybody watching back home. And we also have a Zoom station kind of set up. There's a DJ Russell and DJ Chris. You can see me sitting down right there. We bring in a big screen TV and project this stream into Zoom. So it's not like all of a sudden you're watching just some single cam thing
Right.
and waiting for people. And
Right.
people come over and they...
Looks like a movie set.
Yeah, here, let's see if we can scroll ahead to some of the highlights here. Oh, there we go. There's the beginning.
Nice.
So they made fun of this guy afterwards, in a joking manner, said he looked like he was a UFC fighter.
I was going to say, just because of the man bun thing?
Yeah, his strut, too. He does have a bit of a strut like he's walking to the ring.
Well, yeah.
And I want to get to the bride reveal. There it was, right there. Because it's... So here you go. They're playing the Shameless song. Here you go. Or Speechless.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, what an entrance. That is cool, isn't it?
That gave me chills just seeing it again.
Wow.
I mean, that's a grand entrance, and that is they call that the princess dress, the Cinderella dress. It's just, what a gorgeous venue, what a gorgeous day. Congratulations to Emily and Matt.
Call it the Frozen 1 dress or the Frozen 2 dress or whatever, yeah.
If anybody wants, live streaming services, we're absolutely the pros. I'll put our product up against anybody else in the business. We are unparalleled when it comes to live streaming and live streaming technology.
And affordable.
Yes.
Which is always a good thing. Oh, isn't that
And
wonderful?
yeah, here we can skim through a little
What
bit.
what a lovely bunch. Witnessing the...
Right here, watch this. The groom says the worst thing he could say. So they're signing the papers,
yeah.
right, to make it all official.
Yeah.
And then the groom, I guess, not really thinking. Here's what he says.
Last chance.
Last chance.
Turn up. The family's ticket. It's like buying the truck.
Did you hear that?
No, what did he say? I didn't catch it in my ear.
It's like buying a truck. Oh, no, buddy, you didn't just say that, did you?
Ooh,
Yes.
ouch.
It'll take forever for him to live
he's
that one
going to
down.
pay for that.
There they are right there. Really?
Uh-oh.
Marrying me was like buying a truck?
Like buying a truck? Uh-oh.
And yeah, that's Stonewall Estates. Again, what a beautiful
But no,
venue.
ladies and gentlemen, this wedding did not take place in Tennessee. Or Arkansas. Wow.
Buying a truck.
Good for you. Good for you, Kev.
Yeah, thanks very much.
While I was away, something else that was a big Niagara story, still is a big Niagara story. I can't leave you for a couple of weeks even, and massive buildings burned down in St. Cat. What are you doing? I mean, the Welland house is now just cinder and ash, and a burned out lot, and being tarnished by 40 some odd plus 45 plus years in the media. Your mind goes into strange places when events like this take place. I was in British Columbia and I kept up with the news, and I think it was this past Monday, was it not, Kevin? Like last Monday, a week from yesterday?
Yeah, a week from yesterday.
That this fire took place, started. We do not know yet what was the source of the fire, do we? At this point?
No, but there's been a lot of speculation, Lee.
Yeah, well, I was speculating myself. When I was watching Patrick do his wonderful job of filling in here on the program, you guys were talking about it, of course, and as I understand it, you can fill me in on the details because I was out of the area, that it was on the verge, the Welland House was on the verge at that time of being formally pronounced as a Niagara historical site. Am I right about that?
You're bang on, Lee.
All right. And then right after that, right after this sort of thing came out, it's going to happen this week, the thing burns down. Uh-oh. Now you can draw whatever conclusions you want based on, and I'm not going to voice any at all, but it just does seem the timing, I suppose, is what I'm alluding to, is a bit interesting. Because if you look into what happens to a building, any structure that is deemed a historical site, it becomes really complicated going forward to deal with these buildings in any way. And now we have this massive fire. I think it'll be very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. I think it'll be, and there's some flashbacks to a week ago from yesterday. What a horrible, horrible thing. I was watching in awe as that happened. As familiar with as I am with Niagara, and that building in particular, it was a student residence, and of course there are no students in it because, well, it's July, and so no human life was, other than the firefighters and the first responders, God bless you, was in danger of expiring in that fire. But still, you have to, a landmark like that, or even a building of that size in any downtown core presents a problem. Even if it was a new building that had burned down, we've got a downtown core area here. I mean, look at the building just to the buildings just to the left of it, very, very close. The buildings right across the street with all of that foliage, and it at that point in time it had been dry. You hadn't had a lot of rain at that point, had you, Kevin?
No, not at all.
So, you know, there's risk of sparks and wind and all kinds of things. You can see the smoke's blowing pretty good there, pretty well. So I couldn't help but wonder about the timing. And there's an aftermath. What a shame. What a shame. Fire is a terrible, terrible thing. It doesn't only destroy property, it destroys memories, and in the worst case scenario, destroys lives. But if you ask anybody that has ever had a fire in their home, whether they've escaped unscathed themselves, of course, they'll never forget fire, because it is so overwhelmingly devastating. There is no recovery from something like that at all. And then the good people of Barrie, who live in what we always used to call Canada's or Ontario's Hurricane Alley. Barrie area has had a few hurricanes in its past, but no tornado as devastating as the one that happened a few days ago. Hundreds of places are going to have to be rebuilt that were there. We've got fires in northwestern Ontario, fires raging in British Columbia, Washington State, California again. We have air quality warnings going on here. I have kind of a feeling like I'm in some sort of a Mad Max movie here, Kevin. We've got like Armageddon 3 happening. New Orleans is sinking, and I don't want to swim.
Heard that before.
Yeah. And not to put too much of a downer on it, but it is really starting to get tiresome, and one wishes that there could be some sort of snap of the finger solution to what the scientists are referring to as the results of climate change. And there are so many people that are anti-climate changers because, well, that's the world we live in. But we have got I remember forest fires before. I lived in British Columbia long enough. There are always forest fires, but they're usually in non-inhabitable areas. And it's a way of forests cleansing themselves. Those are some sites of Barrie, I assume, from the tornado.
And then it's these are images from Barrie. It's interesting, Lee, that you mentioned about like fire and flood and how devastating they are. When I looked at the aftermath in Barrie, while I felt bad, I actually felt, okay, you guys are pretty lucky. Like, everybody's got insurance, and it's just damage, right? It's just exterior stuff.
But as these things keep happening, as the insurance world goes, there may be a day that you might not be able to get insurance.
No, absolutely. I understand that. I guess what I'm saying is, had they gone through a flood where everything in your basement gets destroyed, or a fire where all those memories are gone,
right,
that's much more devastating than, I know I'm not putting myself in their shoes, and I understand the devastation, but it was amazing that there was no human life lost.
I know.
In the tornado in
It truly
Erie.
is.
So looking at that and saying, okay, everybody was safe. Just some damage to some properties. Insurance will cover that.
And the unprecedented flooding that's happening in Germany and other places throughout Europe. I mean, cars and houses are floating. It's a little bit crazy. And here in Niagara, we are blessed with a very, very moderate climate. I've always said it's probably one of the best, geographically, that is, places to live in Canada, because we have such moderate swings of weather effects. But even here, last week while I was away, as I understand it, you had some heavily powerful rains and hail in some areas, especially in the southern portions of our area. And I was actually in Pelham at a golf course yesterday. Very, very enjoyable game, by the way. So
that's surprising, eh?
Kudos to the Riverview operators of the golf club there. But the water, Kevin, that had crept into the land areas from the river and the canal areas was amazing. The amount of water that had gathered there in just a short amount of time. The course was still playable. I mean, it wasn't a problem playing golf. It was just that your fairways in some cases were a little narrower than they might have once been. That's all.
Sounds like you're making an excuse for your bloated score.
That's true. That's
true.
The
water just crept
the water
everywhere.
just I'd hit the ball and the water came in.
Can I get a ruling over here? Is this standing water? I don't think this water was here yesterday. I'm trying to find, Lee, on Saturday, we got a deluge here in Niagara where it rained and rained heavy.
That was the day before I got back.
Almost the entire day. And I saw a video here in one of my groups on Facebook of a lady in Crystal Beach floating in her backyard because her backyard was flooded.
I heard that people were actually kayaking in the ditches in their backyards in some places in Niagara because of these heavy rains.
So I'm trying to see if I can find that, but I guess not. I don't know that I'll be able to. Coming up to wrap up the show, and we're getting close to that. Have a great video to feature from Mel Monaco. And I'm trying to see where in Niagara it was filmed. It might actually be Crystal Beach or Port Colborne or down on the north shore of Lake Erie. It's a great fun song. It goes back about 4 years. I've talked to Mel Monaco in the past, but I've never actually seen her perform. And man, she's very artistic and just goes to speak about the talent that we have here in Niagara that should have a bigger spotlight shone upon them.
Indeed. Song is, I believe, called Hold Me Back. In the video that you're going to be seeing, you'll see, along with Mel Monaco, of course, the St. Catharines Roller Girls are also featured in this video, which is kind of cool. And the thing that is always inspiring for me, Kevin, to go to your point of talent in Niagara, is these videos are not just somebody kind of holding up a cell phone while somebody plays a guitar and sings. These are some pretty darn good professional, slick productions. And kudos to those people that put time in, because there is not a lot of money these days. Easy money, that is. There is some money in the entertainment business, yes, but there is no easy money in the entertainment business. And especially now, when the world is trying to dig itself out of this COVID hole, and entertainment has taken on a whole new connotation. Dollars and cents are not easy to come by. It's not like the old record deal days where the record companies are going to go out and they're going to peddle your song and they're going to promote you here and they're going to put it on radio stations and then you sell a lot of vinyl and you make... those days are gone. Totally gone forever. And so you got to be out there busting your hump every single day, and it's mainly on social media and the internet and places like that, where these people are competing against millions of other people doing the same thing. So that's why we try to highlight Niagara, folks.
Absolutely. And Lee, as we get ready to wrap up the program here, I should remind everybody that, hey, Dine-In Restaurants is back.
Yes.
And they are open here at Fiddler's Poorhouse. I don't know
right now.
if you're peckish. I'm a little peckish. I might go back and see some of the staff in the kitchen. See what we can get together here for two wavering souls.
And a couple of reminders before we get to Mel Monica. We have you have up until 3 o'clock to go get your picture taken and to have a look.
I think they got until 6. I think there's another session from 4
4
to
to
6
6
p.m. Okay, sorry.
I was getting there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I was getting there.
Why don't I let you do the show?
Okay. All right. That's all right. I don't mind being reminded. I've made the odd mistake. Up until 3 o'clock this afternoon, and then again from 4 until 6, because Theodore has to have his little brunch lunch. Theodore Tugboat 2 is at the Port Dalhousie Pier, so you can pop by there today. It leaves at 8 o'clock to head back to its port in Hamilton. Kevin, as always, thank you very much. It's good to be back with you folks. And we apologize for sort of surprising you by doing a Tuesday edition. I do want to remind you that the show is moving to next week because everybody deserves a vacation. And our pal Kevin is taken off to do some camping in his backyard with his family for a little while.
Yeah, we're going to Bissell's
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
So have fun with that. You've earned the break, but we are not leaving you totally empty of the show. We're going to try to move things around. Like today, we did this Tuesday at noon. Next Monday at 11 o'clock. We're going to try to get underway.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably be back in our full scale Thursdays at noon. So we thank you for putting up with us because, well, this whole show is portable. It's the world we live in, so we appreciate you coming along for the ride. To Gales Gas Bars, thank you for fueling this program. Performance Heating and Air, thank you also. Enwick, Niagara's High Speed Internet, and Verge Insurance Group. As always, we appreciate your support. I'm Lee Sterry, and we're going to Mel Monaco. And hold me back. Have yourselves a great day, super week, and we'll catch you next Monday.
Placing the mixture of the color, which is best. Few-time memories hold me back. It's obvious when you enter the crowd. While emotions run ragged, I'm nicking my sweater while you stagger. But you know you never leave my mind. Is it fair to say I'm just used to this life? So hold me back, hold me back, make it known I got a new perspective, yeah, 'cause I got a new bow. Hold me back, hold me back, I won't give you such credit for being the muse to my final credits, yeah. I'm tired of these thoughts, I'm just tired of thinking aloud. When did it become more about you and less about the music? So I use it, whoa, it's just 1, 2, 3. Step on the idea of we. To get over me, you gotta see to believe. Hold me back, make it known I got a new perspective, yeah, 'cause I got a new bow. Hold me back, make it sing. I won't give you such credit for being the muse to my final curse, yeah. new beau. Hold me back, hold me back, magazine. I won't give you such credit for being the muse. Say my final credit, yeah, yeah.